Hello, my friends. Russell Wright from networkempire.com, and now we're going to jump right into Module 4. Just a reminder for anyone viewing this video outside of the exclusive networkempire.com members area, this is part of the Video Website Silo Architecture course, a really exciting course that builds on the 10-year-old sustainable SEO ranking methodology called Website Silo Architecture that helps you rank higher for far fewer inbound links than your competition, with up to 90% fewer inbound links for hundreds of keywords instead of 5 or 6. Okay, it's an old method taught to me by Bruce Clay. Now we've added a whole other dimension preparing for HTML5 and the new web, and that is video. You got to start adding video. It lowers the cost of long-term article creation and a bunch of other things. So this is Module 4, choosing a video style or video script. Okay, so type 1, we're going to go over the different kinds of video styles. Type 1 is what I call the amateur video. Just be yourself and convey an authentic expression, okay? And you can see here I got a picture of my friend Mike Long. This is one of his videos on evenpagan.org, which is kind of an obscure site that it doesn't pay much attention to. The reason I threw this up is he's actually driving in his car. And this is a flip car cam type thing, or a car cam. And what Mike does really, really well is not necessarily what everybody should do, but as I shared with you in the bonus package on the Persuasion Architecture Mastery course and the Persuasion Architecture comparison chart, his primary skill is making sure that everybody understands that your customer or your prospect is going to ask one question, one fundamental question. If you ignore every other question they have and have one question, it's going to be this: will this product I'm about to buy for you work for me? And that's why Mike Long, I consider the master of the testimonial. All right, just no question. Now, what's interesting about that is anybody can do one. So this is what we mean by amateur video. Okay, and for amateur video, you just need a camera. Okay, so let's talk about my favorite pick. My favorite pick is the Kodak. Okay, and this is a Kodak Z1.8. I love both of my Kodak Z1.8s. I couldn't live without them. My friend Ramona has a Kodak Z1.8 that she shoots all of her health and wellness videos on. Outdoors we can take it, and here's the reason why. It has a mic jack. Okay, guys, just if you're doing any videos at all in-house, just get one. Okay, and I hope there's a new one coming out. Even though it carries the Kodak brand, I know Kodak's going out of business or actually filed a bankruptcy, but this Kodak HD cam has been around for a while, and they have another version coming out, so it's probably a different department of the company, but just get them. In fact, I would probably buy just like 5 of them just to have them on stock in case Kodak ever disappeared, because it's going to be a while before somebody builds one this cool again. All right, and you can purchase, here's another tip, you can purchase an extender and a cable that goes into a regular microphone jack, and the mic is fantastic. So go to Radio Shack, get the microphone that comes out in clips. You can literally buy a lapel mic that stretches across the room if you can't afford those remote lapel. I've actually used a remote lapel with this. It works beautifully. So just get the Kodak Z1.8 when in doubt, okay? Get a tripod as well. The other kind of thing that you can use is the flip cam. Flip cam was the first to come out, blew everyone's mind. I don't know what the status of the flip is right now, okay? I do know that the last version I had I gave away to a friend when I got the Kodak Z1.8, all right? So just know that this is a great way to take amateur videos. And of course, we have the laptop camera. One of the easy ways to take amateur testimonial videos, and we're going to talk about this also in the blended type of video, which is a picture in Screencast. Really easy, just use your laptop. Now, as you get better doing videos and as you have a higher profile personality, especially when you're trying to convey professional information, be very careful with using your laptop. You know, Sue Bell used to comment in the earlier years when I was first messing around with laptop video, that, you know, I shouldn't have look down into the camera. Sometimes it gives you a little bit of a weird perspective on the person's face, and try to make it professional, but they're really, really great for fast testimonials. If you're just doing a testimonial or having somebody on the Warriors Forum give you a testimonial, it's fine to let the average Joe just use a laptop because it gives them an air of authenticity. And if you're using your laptop for things like Google Hangouts, Google Plus Hangouts, you know, just talk to your people who are going to be on the Hangout about having a nice background. Don't have naked kids running around and stuff like that, okay? So you get the hang of all that as time goes on. Then there's the iPhone cam. Well, I wouldn't want to neglect the iPhone cam. A lot of people are making instant cash by uploading their video directly via iCam, okay? I'm sorry, iPhone. And your iPhone cam has the new versions have quite a bit of memory on them, and you can do some pretty cool stuff. I was actually with a friend who made a direct sale to his list in 45 seconds by uploading a video. 45 seconds after the video was uploaded, he emailed it directly to a person who wanted to buy, who bought it. Okay, very cool stuff. All right, let's move on to the type 2. Let me just pull this down here. Remember, we're talking about the types of videos that you can use, kind of different formats of videos that you can use. Okay, this is called the screen grab. Now, many of you are familiar with screen grabs. Camtasia is probably the best company in the world. They've been around since the beginning. I love their programming team. They're really a seriously cool bunch of guys. They've been working their butts off on like 13 different softwares, everything from Jing. We're going to go over everything they've produced. Because they're so good and stable, they're really the hub or the kind of linchpin of web video. You know, they're like not all the way up there like Avid or Pro Sound or Pro Video or any of those other big ones, but they're really for the layman. Okay, so let's talk about the things that they have created. Okay, Camtasia being the first one. Okay, Camtasia is not free. And I'll speak openly since this is a private membership group. Yeah, there are a lot of hacked versions out there. All right, I've got hacked versions of Camtasia on disks around here and the rest. Be very, very careful with using hacked versions of Camtasia. You can't upgrade it, and I strongly recommend that you get the new Camtasia 8. Okay, Camtasia 8 is a whole nother level. It's an 8 Gen L. Okay, and so that's that. Then there's also Techsmith. Techsmith also does screen grab a video. That's why I've listed it here. When people think Techsmith, they normally think grabbing an image, right? I use it for that all the time. However, Techsmith also does incredibly cool videos that I can grab really quickly. Here's the difference between Techsmith, Snagit, and Camtasia video, is that Snagit video captures have no way, as far as I know, on the current version to use arrows, highlighters, shapes, you know, like I've done in the previous videos, you probably noticed, or pointers and arrows. Can't do that on the Techsmith. So it's good for really super fast screen grab things for internal departmental discussions, or when I'm working with outsourcers and I need to just tell them something super quickly on the screen and I don't need an arrow, I can just use Techsmith and upload it. Now there's no limit on Techsmith's Snagit. It just doesn't have the arrows. It's also very, very fast to produce and does not have an editable timeline like Camtasia does. So again, let's go back. Camtasia is the limousine of all of this stuff. Okay, Snagit's nice, but it's not a limousine. It's good for quick and dirty stuff, and it's kind of a jack of all trades, like a Swiss Army knife of snagging. All right, now Jing is the same thing, same company, Techsmith. Jing I always have around. You can probably see at the top of my screen right here. I don't know, I think it's capturing on the video. That's my Jing ball. Okay, and the Jing ball is here. See it right here? This goes with me everywhere. I was really disappointed when I heard that they're going to get rid of Jing Pro, because I love this software. Okay, and I use Jing for very specific reasons. I use it to grab images and upload them directly to my server so that I can embed them in a blog post. I consider this an essential curation tool, and if it ever went away, I'd have to replace it. Okay, so get Jing and also learn about Jing in the new and updated 2013-14 Curation Madness course that we have coming. It'll be an extension of the previous curation course, because Jing, I consider Jing a curation tool that I can't live without. I also consider Snagit to be the same. All right. What's interesting about all these things, guys, is that I use them all. But if you had to buy one, buy Camtasia if you're doing a lot of video. Okay. If you're a strong curator, also have Jing, which is free. Okay. But keep in mind that Jing only videos for 5 minutes or less, and you can't do that much with it. And there's no arrows or anything like that. All right. Let's move over to Screencast. Now, this has always been a little confusing for people. Again, this is another Techsmith product. Both Jing, Snagit, and Camtasia can all upload to Screencast. So what Screencast is simply a server or a hosting package that bills you monthly to upload that stuff directly. Now, it doesn't stop you from uploading to YouTube or Vimeo from these other applications or generating MP4s and different file formats and so on and so forth. But what's really useful about this is for internal, departmental. What's also very, very useful with Screencast is picture grab an image. If you wanted to store it to your own server, you don't want it to be out on the web. Also, I do use this for members inside the membership area. If I don't want to spend all that freaking time to upload to Amazon S3, and then coming up with the Amazon code with the right player, and oh my gosh, right? You can just literally embed it from Screencast and have your users play it and download it right from the Screencast location. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. In fact, let me just show it to you in action right here, because I have Jing pointing to Screencast. All you got to do is just grab it, capture the image, okay, and see, share via Screencast on the screen. Just goes right up, and literally I can curate. I've got this set up, Jing, so I can curate right to Screencast. Okay, and what it does is it's now on my clipboard, and I can literally, in fact, let me just open a screen for you. Okay, literally, here's my branded Screencast page. It creates a page and a share, a download, even an embeddable code. I can put that right in the members area. I can curate right to a blog post, and it's going to just literally use Screencast as my server. Okay, that's very, very nice, you guys. Hopefully you guys know how to use this already, guys and gals. So I just wanted to make sure I covered that because I love Techsmith. Now there is some options, okay, outside of Techsmith. Okay, I've been a little bit, if you're on a Mac, this is probably useless for you because I'm not a Mac person, and there's a plenty of really cool Mac toys as well that use this, okay? Let's go ahead and see what else we got here. One thing I just realized I forgot to add or got misplaced is something called Screener. Okay, Screener is something you definitely need to know about. It's not in the Techsmith family, but you can literally launch the recorder and grab it right off of the website. I mean, how crazy is that we live in a time where literally you can go to a web page and start curating video for free. That just blew my mind the first time I saw this. Like, nothing to install or download, holy mackerel. I put that in there because it's just crazy. Okay, so now that we know that the screen grab is, like I'm doing right now is a screen grab. I have another software that I'm grabbing right now called the Brain, but that's the same idea, right? Let's move to type 3, which is the combo of the two things I've already introduced you to, which is the screen capture and the live video. Okay, so there's a way that you can do that. In order to do that, you need a Camtasia and a laptop camera, okay, or live video. So you can see here's a screen capture from a video that I did, and you can see it's not that great, but it's picture-in-picture. It's captured with, whenever you see an arrow like this, you can almost rest be assured it's been done in Camtasia. Okay, and this is really, what I'm using here is Camtasia and the laptop video camera. Okay, I believe I actually used an external video camera from Rocketfish rather than the internal camera to the laptop, but it's the same idea. You can use either one. Okay, that allows you to do picture-in-picture. You'll see a lot of Warriors Forum guys, a lot of over-the-shoulder talks. People have tried this. It got quite popular. I think there's mixed reviews, but it is a combination of amateur. I love it when you're giving tutorials because it makes it feel a little bit like there's a human being there. I think people's brains start to go a little bit haywire when they have too much of a talk, no human beings, no contacts. Kind of like the video I'm doing now with you where I'm not actually video inside this, so hope it's working for you. But I know it's hard sometimes when you don't have a human being you're talking to. Okay, let's go back. So that's the combo. Another thing you can do it, I'm going to introduce you to a concept called picture-in-picture-in-picture, or P3. Okay, an example of that, here's me on Vimeo sitting in front of a television, and I've got the Brain like I'm doing with you right now using the Brain software. And so it's picture-in-picture-in-picture because there's a television with a screen grab, but then you're watching the video through Vimeo, and there's me talking to you, but also giving you a demonstration on another video. Okay, it's like triple virtual there. So we call that 3P or P3. Okay, so that's, let me just make sure that was all there is. Yep, that's type 4, the picture-in-picture method. Okay, picture-in-picture-in-picture, that's type 4. So you need a camera and a big screen TV and a touch screen, or you need a kind of a, let me just make sure I got this right. Yeah, so you're going to need either a big screen, a TV, or a touch screen, or a computer projector. I've noticed that you've probably seen people on YouTube who've tried to talk at a projected screen. Looks kind of bad, or PowerPoint presentations are really hard to shoot. I've talked to our video guy, and it's really hard to get the camera white levels to work with the white that comes up on a screen, and you got to have a really good person to do it. I found that big screen LED TVs are far superior than paying hundreds of dollars for a light guy to come in. Okay, you can also use green screen and stuff, which I don't get into much here, because I find green screen is too hard for people to implement. They don't do it very well when they do, and it actually looks really crappy, unless you've got $1,000 studio. Okay, so that's really something that you need to consider. Okay, then there's the slideshow video sales letter. What I mean with this here, what I'm talking about here is focusing on slideshows in general. Okay, you can use PowerPoint. All of you are familiar with PowerPoint. Okay, and you still have to write the script. This takes time, you guys. And I do have a free template that could be used as both a sales letter and a webinar. Okay, I'm going to be giving you in this course, and we're going to be adding templates over time as well. But PowerPoint takes a lot of time. If you look at Ryan Dice or any of the the heavy-duty webinar sales folks out there, these guys use slideshows, and they use slideshows really, really well. It was very, very popular to use these kind of, we're going to talk about that on the webinar section, these fake-inars. We're going to talk about the disadvantages and advantages of doing that, but all of them you'll find use these kind of slideshows. Sometimes they'll block the exit from the video, so you can't even fast forward it, so on and so forth. Okay, the SlideRocket company has recently been purchased by ClearSlide. I'm not sure where this is going to go, but this is the best slide software that I've ever used. I can have a slide presentation put together in minutes, not hours. I don't have to know PowerPoint and be stuck in Bill Gates' little Microsoft world. It's non-linear, all kinds of graphics. They give you graphic image archive, just really, really cool stuff. Okay, can't get an account with them anymore, so you'll have to go over to ClearSlide and see what your options are there. Okay, I'm sad if they take it off the market, but they might. In other words, they're not allowing for new accounts to open, but I believe they're going to let us keep our accounts because we're paying for it monthly at like $45. Okay, so what else we got? That's it. Let's move on to the next type. This is Prezi. I get a lot of questions on Prezi. Prezi is a really interesting software. It provides a whole bunch of templates for nonlinear motion all over the screen. And I've left you on this brain a couple of demonstrations of one. I've only made one real demonstration that went live. Here's a sample presentation. Let me see if I can actually show it to you a little bit. Okay, this is a test that never went public. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this or not. I'll just show you what it does. Just slide around here for a second. Just watch how it moves. Okay, so what it'll do is it'll slide from one thing to the next. See how that goes? So it just moves around the screen. Okay, see how it just slides around? So that's kind of Prezi, how Prezi works, right? Some people like it, some people don't. We get really mixed reviews. Like most of my team has voted it down as being distracting and disifying, and nobody likes it. I don't know why, because there are some people that really, really do. But again, some people don't like the brain software that I'm using here, so it's just really hard to say what someone's going to like. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of conversion. So you can use Prezi. There's a free trial. There are some. If you use it right, I still feel it's great for distraction. In other words, getting past, let's go back to it, getting past someone's reticular activator with intense moving stuff around. For a lot of people, especially beginners in the intermediate market, it looks like high-end video has been done. Okay? And that's really what you want to take into consideration. Is it going to distract people enough, or is the technology old and disifying and doesn't convert? Okay. 7 is the website spokesperson. Don't forget that method. An example of a company that does that is I Speak Video, turning traffic into leads. See this lady in the lower right-hand corner? She'll sit there and talk to you about stuff. I have mixed feelings about this. If you're a big corporate branding site and you've got big corporate branding dollars, I think a stranger who knows nothing about your niche and is not an expert, and especially if it's a really hot chick or something like that, that's like, no offense to the ladies watching this, that's going to be really attracting to men, or maybe a good-looking guy or businessman. If it goes both ways. Sword cuts both ways there. But I'm just saying, I would rather have authenticity. And I suppose here is an opportunity for me to talk about something that's a bit controversial, and I hope I don't offend anybody by talking about this. How shall I say this? the adult industry, I have associates who have websites in the adult industry, and the videos and websites that are doing well are all amateur adult. Okay, I don't really think it's that different anywhere else. Why is that? Because authenticity is becoming more and more of a turn on across all markets because people are sick of trying to determine what's a scam and what's not. Now that's been coming since the 90s, okay? But now it's at a point where even at our themes and certification, when we talk about the 11 macro trends, the authenticity movement is a big one. It's huge. People want realness. They want the original. They want authenticity. And for me, I'm not real sure about this one. I haven't done any tests. But if you want to try an on-site special, I would try using somebody in your company. And I haven't yet seen a way to use your own people to create these lower right-hand corner video screens. There probably is, but I don't know how to do it. So that's how I would do it. I would do an amateur. Website spokesperson. Okay, let's move on to number 8. Number 8 is GoToWebinar. This software is the single most, aside from Kraken and all of our other technologies, this software is responsible for making me more money than any other software on earth, okay, that I've ever used. And it's probably, of course, notwithstanding, browsers and email and all that kind of stuff, all right? And, so this is the marketing software that's made me a ton of money. And just get it. If you're doing any kind of online training, if you're doing any kind of education, if you're doing any kind of marketing. You can do edge marketing videos, including the script that I give you up here. You can use it directly with GoToMeeting, and you will make money. Okay? Now let's talk about webinar replays. Okay, webinars don't get me started. So there's a couple of different types. Let's go to A first. Okay, so here's a link to GoToMeeting in case you need it. It is not an affiliate link, just trying to help you guys out. And GoToWebinars. Okay, and then there's the topic that I get a lot of people asking me about, fake webinars, stealth webinar, stealth seminar is the big one. Frank Kern uses it. A lot of other people use it. I tried it, wasn't that thrilled about it. Sue Bell cannot stand fake webinar replays. She thinks it's cheesy, unauthentic, and I agree that most of the time it's done that way. But I also believe that it can be done. You can be very transparent with. I'm still unwilling to disregard automatic webinar replays, and but I use something different, which I'm going to talk to you about here, and that's going to be Easy Webinar plugin. Because the options you have stealth webinar, stealth seminar, which I just showed you, which is a monthly fee, and can be quite expensive. And then there's Easy Webinar plugin. I've been speaking to the developer. This is a great plugin that Matt Cruz turned me on to. He's doing a lot of great stuff, adding more and more. And it kind of got rid of 2 softwares for me. It got rid of needing to use things like, stealth seminars, or presentation domination was another one by Ryan Dice. I don't know if they're still running that thing, or it's going to this really replaces it because it's a one-time fee for like $250 to $300. You can get it on a discount as well. He's a great developer. He really gets the WordPress environment, and he has it so you can make it as authentic or inauthentic as you want. So this is a rising star in the webinar industry because it's a set and forget one-time plugin. There's no need for reoccurring fees. It's got a few limits that he's actually programming out of it compared to, in fact, actually, if I was stealth seminars, I would be afraid of this technology. It's pretty disruptive, and he's a great guy. He's also an expert YouTube video marketer, and I'm actually taking his course. Okay, and I've done a lot of online stuff with video, but his knowledge is really, really. This guy who designed this, he crashes servers, driving YouTube traffic only. Okay, so you'll be hearing more about this in other courses that we have. All right, let's go down to. Did we get all of them? Option 2, yes we did. Let's go to type 9 video. Now you've probably been seeing this stuff, Sparkle, Video Scribe, these types of things. I have not personally built anything yet with Video Scribe and Sparkle. I'm looking for somebody to put in our members only area who's really good at Sparkle. So if you know how to make Sparkles, contact me, and we'll put you in and drive you business. Because I got to tell you, the highest traffic conversions that I've seen are coming from these whiteboard videos. I do not know how long it's going to last, and people can tell the difference between a TED whiteboard video where it wasn't TED, it was the what's the company that started doing these? You probably know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But these kind of came in, the software was developed to make it easy because the first whiteboard video that I had bid out was like bid out for $5,000. Because a guy was going to literally do some still motion photography, and they were literally like writing on this whiteboard my whole story. And here's what happened is by the time I was done writing my story, I had this great copy, and the real hard part is writing the story. Okay, and then I had to make this decision. Do I want to pay $5,000 to have some guy draw on the screen? Well, looking back, knowing what I know now, I probably would have. But now it's easy. You don't got to spend that. It doesn't quite look as professional as a real guy standing there writing, but it looks good enough for introductory videos. So what I'm suggesting is maybe test it. Okay, so you can use the Sparkle software for that. I've left you the link. You can also use the cheap whiteboard, home whiteboard, like you see me here doing. Here's a little story. The Basement Website Silo Lecture was one of the most powerful videos, one of the most popular videos I ever had. I mean, even though there's only a couple thousand views each on these videos and they're like 4 years old, they had the most significant impact on my students. And let me just go over to those. I don't want you to think, here's my main lecture for you about this topic, is that I don't want you to think that you have to be perfect. The idea is more important. See how terrible this is? This is way back in the old days, okay? And I had a guy email me just the other day saying that this was one of the most influential SEO videos that he ever saw. So I admit that inside this video was a big idea. And there was also a why power, we talk about starting with why in our bonus lectures on our marketing persuasion. So I really had an amazing idea to communicate with people here, and they really got it. So the whiteboards really work. I mean, it wasn't anything to shout home about. It was poorly shot. It was a flip cam. I didn't even have the Kodak yet. So my point here is that these cheap amateur whiteboard videos for a home business model, especially using the Frank Kern kitchen table logic method, go ahead and do it. Don't wait for perfection, okay? Because you will influence a lot of people if you're passionate about what you do. If you have more money, of course, you can do better. All right, type 10 is slideshow and slideshow makers. Okay, this is Photodex Pro Show. I have never used this, but I have a friend of mine who's in video. He does a lot of this. He loves this application. If you are broke and you can't afford Camtasia and you can't afford other things, go ahead and get this. You'll be able to do a lot with this, okay? And I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so let's go to type 11, which is Fast Video Sales Letter Writer. This is Chris Webb's software. I believe he owns it. I've left you a link to it. In the event that you don't have a lot of sales scripts, we're only giving you one real video sales letter script. Video sales letter scripts are for sale on Fiverr for $5. There's like 4 different people selling like 3 different kinds of video sales letters. Okay, so you can buy those templates if you want, and we're actually going to be adding some for you that we've tested. I don't like to add them unless I've tested them for you, okay? The free sales letter and webinar template that I'm giving you in this module, I know it sells because I modified it and I ran a $10,000 webinar series with it, okay? So I just want to make sure that you understand how that's working. But this is really interesting. A lot of people that I know in my student group say that this is a great software to it gives you, if you're not the kind of person who's creative, you're not a good writer, you're not a good marketer, and you want to be told each step of the way. Fill in the blanks, step by step, just like our painkiller article method. Okay, using the John Ledger software called I think Article Factory, Instant Article Factory, which works great with our painkiller article method. This is very much like that. It's start to finish. 47 minutes it took an expert, somebody who'd probably studied for about 2 days to learn to use this software to make the video on their sales letter. And it's a slideshow type environment, but I promise you your pages will convert higher when you make videos in this way. So it's inexpensive. There's not a lot of excuses not to have video squeeze pages. And we're going to talk about more in this course on the index page, the silo landing pages, and the article supporting pages. You obviously don't need to use this for every single page. Okay, your sales page can be on your main product page, your sales videos, okay, or on even satellite squeeze pages around your main site. But if you need one, probably you may want to have one sales letter at least for one of your main products so people know what it is that you're doing, okay, what you're selling. Okay. All right, and The free sales letter and webinar template is going to be right here. I'm giving you the link to it. And this is pretty cool. It's the 4X formula, welcome and promises, okay? All of it's here. Okay, in the welcome and promise, you know, you want to, this is a video sales letter script, but it's also a webinar format, okay? This is the format that you want to put your webinar in. So the first part is the welcome and promise. It should mirror the headline on the webinar registration page. The webinar registration page is where you should have that 1 hour video sales letter software. You can use that if you want, if you don't know how to write your own sales page. So this is what I'm showing you here is a sales letter script, video sales letter script, and webinar. It's really a webinar blueprint, okay? So it's less of a video sales letter script and more of a webinar blueprint. But you still need to introduce the webinar from the sales page. And that sales page, if you can use the format that is in video, in the 1-minute video sales letter generator. That can be, like, this could be your squeeze page for your webinar, okay? And there's some pretty cool software you can use for webinar squeeze pages as well. Let's go back to the template. So once you get your sales letter, when you're doing a webinar, which I highly recommend that your company starts thinking about these, the webinar itself needs to deliver on the promise that's on that squeeze page that you probably ended up building either with that sales letter software or with some of the other persuasion methods that I showed you. Your headline should match the promise. You want to under-promise and over-deliver, double the amounts of bullet points. You want to determine the format. I've given you a whole bunch of different formats you can use. GoToMeeting, it's probably good to have a slideshow template built out in advance. If you're showing or demoing software, you may want to have the software preloaded with the correct data so it doesn't break in front of everyone. Okay, that's the main thing that you need to remember about that. Okay, and then always create an open loop in your webinars when you're delivering content, even if it's a sales webinar. Webinar is the best selling platform. Open loop 1. And later in this presentation, you will find out the one thing that will help you. Remember I talk about interesting but incomplete in the bonus material? There's interesting but incomplete is everywhere, but you want to give good information. Open loop 2, I will show you 7 steps to your painkiller solution. Okay, your painkiller solution will be whatever it is that you're selling. Okay, and then as you move further down, you're going to credentialize. And if it comes to a webinar, I actually use both of these, welcome and promise and credentialize, in the video sales letter. Okay, at this point, the rest of this presentation, the rest of this script that I'm giving you, when it has the body of the presentation, this is the hardcore delivery that you want to give in a webinar. You want to give away valuable information. That's the Gary Benzavenga model. Make this, you know, webinars really are valuable information being given away to further sales and need. Okay, so that's really where it goes. And if you want to use this thing that I'm giving you as a sales letter rather than a webinar, just remove this part. Just remove the body of the presentation. Okay, because you can jump right to the end to making an offer. Okay, on a video sales letter, if you can do all the selling, it's all right here. Hopefully you found a lot of value. Take me home close. Take me home is when you stack on the bonuses. And you have to know if you're going for sales or leads. So there's 3 kinds of major offers at the end of a video sales letter. Okay, everything but the kitchen sink offer, I've lost my mind offer, and the mother of all offers. Okay, and that's really good. Give a reason why you're offering them something and make it as authentic as possible. You know, and don't do the, you know, really be careful about doing fire sales, like everything must go and all that. Do things like, the problem is that a lot of these methods are oversaturated, so the way that you have to do it. My favorite one is really honest one. Look, we're in pre-launch right now, and we grandfather everybody in who's coming into this webinar right now for life at this price point. That's been my strongest I've lost my mind offer everywhere. And truly, when I first did that, Sue didn't like that model. She really did think I lost my mind. And so that's an authentic way of getting people in. Everything but the kitchen sink is like, okay, because we're launching, just be really honest. Because we're launching, we need to get some support financially to continue adding on modules. You can do this in your own way in your company. So we're throwing in everything for everybody, even though these things are sold separately, only for you guys. And we literally go in and we create a separate product in DAP. And that puts all of our products together, and we only offer it one time. Okay, that would be like the everything but the kitchen sink offer. So there's a bunch of different ways you can break down, but the bottom line is all the persuasion architecture mastery that I taught you in the bonus material on module 3. You need to include: tell them what you get, tell them the benefits, put value on it, plus add bonus. So do stack value bonuses. Do add that. Okay, the stack is to have all the prices laid out on the first slide. This is a little bit deceptive. This is neuromarketing. You stack way high value on the stuff. You've probably seen the stack. You know, it's $5,000, but for you, $5. You know, try to be authentic with that, because that stuff gets so bad. Like, we can't stand it when people like stack like $700 and then sell it for $7. You got to be careful what's called the dopamine rubber banding, the difference between the small and high. If it's too stupid, it's not believable. You have to make it believable, and you got to make it real. And be authentic. Like, there is real pricing issues with your products. I have found that the best method in the stack, when you stack this price point, is to be real. You know, too many people are using, my developer said I should sell this for $4,000, or my best customers bought this for, you know, be honest with that if it's really happening. Okay, because that's the I've lost my mind thing. But don't make it fake, make it real. Okay, a lot of the times you can come up with a real story better than anything you could ever make up. If you need help with that, you know, contact support, or you can consult with us on how to stack pricing, because it's actually really quite an art, and we're still learning it. Then there's the guarantee. Not everybody has one. Okay, I was talking to Mike Long today about guarantees, and guarantees are tricky in the newbie industry. Facebook, let me give you an example. I have different opinions about guarantees. Okay, money back guarantee. Glenn Livingston says never do a launch without one. Mike Long says never do a launch with one. Now that speaks to the difference of the value of the product and the market that you're speaking to. For example, I know somebody who buys 14 ClickBank products a month and returns 12 of them. I also know someone who buys 10 of them a month and then returns all of them. And now to the point where ClickBank finally just replaced their customer support button and buried it, which you probably noticed on the recent ClickBank thing if you use it at all. I think it's because they made it too easy to return stuff. I mean, why would anybody keep it? So you got to be really careful about that stuff. So anyway, this is a little bit about the video sales letter and that I'm going to be giving you, and we'll be adding more to it. This is just something to kick you off and get you started. Okay, and I just wanted to point out the Warriors Forum does have value when you know how to use it. Remember, it's a toxic environment, but Kurt runs the new Warrior Private, the high voltage video forum. There's some good stuff in there. It's like $9 for a year or something. There's really, really good video experts in there. It's probably one of the most valuable sub-forums in the forum, and it is paid. Okay? All right, so that's pretty much the end of this module, and we've given you all this information below. So you need to decide how you want to go through all this stuff and what you most need. Now, I would suggest that you go through the rest of the show, that is the rest of the course, website video silo architecture, video website silo architecture, so that you know where to begin for yourself, because your index page, which is a module coming up, your index page is going to be key, because the index page is your big idea or your company story and so on and so forth. If you're an affiliate, your index page is probably going to be a squeeze page for somebody else's product. However, all of the things that I've talked to you about, the amateur video, the testimonial, the realness, the salesman on the video page, is still going to do better than a canned video that no human being is behind. Okay, so I would recommend that you really think clearly about that index page, because that's your big idea, your flagship video. And if you do have a why-driven cause, and you are lifestyle-driven, and you have passion, and you care about your audience, and you have a painkiller that you love, especially if you love your products, have your big idea, or your big story, or your big belief, okay, on that homepage. And we're going to talk about that in the next module. I'll see you then.